that the ministry is pleased with the review of the policy, which it described as not only timely but will address the health policy on immunization and will also support the ministry in its drive to reduce death among children and other vulnerable groups. She maintained that the document is also a step towards attaining the Sustainable Development Goals on health as well as universal health coverage, adding that the policy will ensure there is access and use to quality vaccines stipulated categories. Officer in charge Focus 1000 Yusufu Kagbo said Sierra Leone has been plagued by Ebola, COVID-19 and Mpox, but with all of these diseases, robust action from the Ministry of Health together with partners who came on board to see how they can mitigate and address all of these public health concerns. He said his organization, through the support of partners like MasterCard, Africa, CDC and AMREF Health, realized that the process to develop an approach to solve the immunization issue will not be complete if the policy is not reviewed and validated. This policy has taken into consideration the holistic range of issues inherent and pertinent to the delivery of quality immunization services in a manner that is ethical, accessible, and acceptable to all eligible beneficiary populations in Sierra Leone. This comprises the acquisition, distribution, transportation, storage, and administration of a variety of vaccines currently in the program. The revised policy will also provide guidelines on the introduction of new vaccines into the immunization program.
This is News R, reaching you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation television on channel 31. The news continues from Bo in the southern region back to Freetown to take more stories on education and of course urban planning. Many schools in rural areas lack basic furniture to make learning easy and comfortable. The case is not even different in urban centers where some schools and institutions of higher learning had to go on double shifts due to sparsely available furniture. To surmount these challenges and also to contribute to access to quality education, the United Nations Development Programme has launched the Supporting Action to Education project. With funding from China Aid worth about $2 million United States dollars, the project aimed to provide over 14,000 furniture sets to schools and institutions of higher learning. Here is the report.
Advisor to His Excellency the President on Human Capital Development, now officially launched.
The scene depicts the launch of the Supporting Action to Education through the provision of furniture to schools and institutions of higher learning in order to promote access to quality education in Sierra Leone by the Presidential Advisor on Human Capital Development, Professor Alpha Tijan Wuri. Putting the support into perspective, the Presidential Advisor on Human Capital Development, Professor Alpha Wuri, who doubles as an experienced educationist, said the country has come a long way in terms of challenges faced in the educational sector, and access to furniture was one among many. He went on that although the government has invested a lot in improving infrastructure in some schools and universities, they can't succeed without the effort of development partners.
What I'm trying to say is that our economic position is difficult. The project is holding our hands for a short period of time, giving us the safe environment that we want for us to use our brains and ensure we can get it right.
According to the United Nations Development Programme Resident Coordinator Frederick Ampere, the launch of the transformative initiative, which strategically aligned with Sustainable Development Goal 4, was a clarion call on the need for realization of different sectors coming together to boost human capital development.
This project also brings into sharp focus the need and the realization of different ministries coming together and making something happen for the good people of this country. And I want to commend the two ministers here for working together with us and the government of China to make sure that this project is becoming a reality.
The Chinese ambassador to Sierra Leone, Wan Chi, said the partnership between China and Sierra Leone signals a unique commitment to put children and young people first when considering human capital development, a pledged commitment for developing the education sector and other areas.
Thirdly, our commitment to education and human capital development cooperation We believe that education can bring extensive and far-reaching benefits to a country.
Other speakers spoke on the significance of the project in broadening skills capacity base, while noting that education is not only a right but a foundation of human capital development, hence the need to invest in quality education. SLBC, Dennis Fraser reporting. And now the Resilient Urban Sierra Leone project, together with the Ministry of Lands and County Planning, has engaged the Bombali, Kondunu, Sembeu, and Putloko city councils on the city's spare plans. The plans, which is supported by World Bank, unveil the secondary city's spare plans for input and contributions. As and for a report for Makeni City.
The structure plan of the city. It is also the capacity building report for the 6 cities as well.
Stakeholders' engagements, interaction with councils to ascertain their needs, and further consultations with related entities gave birth to this formidable draft plan that prompted the meeting. Addressing attendees, the Director of Country Planning, Sir Makanawa, said for far too long cities have operated without guiding structural plans, which has led to uncoordinated development, unplanned settlement, environmental degradation, and poor land use. He said the development have compounded traffic congestion and pitiable infrastructure.
And we all know that in the absence of plans like these, investment opportunities are often lost or misdirected. So in response to all these, the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Country Planning, with the support from World Bank through the Urban Resilience Project, is preparing what we call a structural plan for 6 municipalities. Our objective is to, 1, ensure that every city grows in a planned manner, secondly, coordinated manner, and thirdly, in a sustainable manner.
He said they have already tendered a new bill to Parliament, which has gone through first and second readings, and now with the Parliamentary Committee for Lands, adding that once it became law, it would replace the 1946 Act. Council representatives expressed the willingness to participate in the process at all levels.
You saw what they presented, that there are areas within Makeni that are unserved, and these areas constitute part of the urban sprawl. So because of their part of the constitution of the urban sprawl, what the project did was to bring them on board so that when there is going to be a boundary redistriction or expansion of the boundary, then these people will be catered for.
Fortunately for us, Putloko is a very new city. We have all the opportunity, there are land spaces, there are opportunities that we can go around to make use to make that city a very beautiful city. That one that will be very admirable to so many.
This partial plan has adequately given us the data that we need for every investment plan. Investment plan in terms of diversification of our economy, for mining to agriculture, by restoration of land or mine out areas, investment plan in terms of flood mitigation, investment plan in terms of greening of the city or tree planting to mitigate climate change, investment plan for us to have adequate water supply in the municipality for social amenities, schools and healthcare facilities.
The structural plans for cities would present usable and realistic approaches that could control and shape the future for sustainable development.
And now the President for Women's Forum Network, Sally Adams, has said that over the years, with constructive dialogue with various ministries, departments and agencies, the advocacy for women's empowerment has yielded much dividend by creating more opportunities for women. She was speaking while delivering a keynote at a one-day plenary discussion, which coincided with the launch of Changing Harmful Gender Norms and Promoting Gender Equality in Bambara Town Community Project, spearheaded by the Bambara Town Women's Organization, or BTWO. The project was funded by Green Grants Fund. Here is the report. Speaking on the importance of the project, Country Advisor, Global Green Grants Fund, Esther Kande, said the project aims at promoting gender equality and gender stereotypes. She stressed the need for women to rise up to the occasion in taking national leadership roles.
One for them, we don't give up. All the information we get, let me take them to good faith, and let me know say this at the time, this at the 21st century, we need for turn things around.
Bambara Town is a community within Freetown, commonly called Central 1, which is known for football activities, which mostly turned into violence. With the current trend of misuse of drugs by young people,